Barcelona is one of the most searched cruise ports in Europe, but the information online can feel overwhelming. Which terminal will you use? How do you actually get to Las Ramblas? And is it realistic to see Sagrada Familia in a single port day? I have visited Barcelona several times, including on P&O Arvia and on Sky Princess. And each time I have learnt something new about how this port really works. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 10 things you genuinely need to know before your cruise. Let's start with the one thing everyone wants to know straight away: which terminal your ship will actually use and what that means for getting into the city. Barcelona has several cruise terminals, but the two areas that matter most are the World Trade Center terminals and a Dosset Quay. When I visited on both P&O Arvia and Sky Princess, we docked at Adasat, which is where most of the larger ships go. It is a long way from the city, and definitely not a walking port. It is about 2 kilometers to the Columbus Monument at the bottom of La Ramblas, and in the summer heat, it would be a very uncomfortable walk. If you are sailing on a smaller ship, you may dock at the World Trade Center terminals instead. These are much closer to the city, and you can walk straight off and reach Las Ramblas in around 15 minutes. If you want to check in advance, the Port of Barcelona website does list ship arrivals and terminals. But even if you do not look, the simple rule is this: if you are on a larger ship, assume you will dock at Adasat and plan transport into the city. Barcelona's cruise terminals are modern, organized, and easy to navigate, but they're all slightly different. At Adasat, where I've been with both P&O Arvia and Sky Princess, you walk straight off the gangway into the terminal building, and it's usually a very smooth process. Inside, you'll find plenty of seating, toilets, air conditioning, and a small duty-free shop, which is ideal if you want to pick up last-minute gifts or stock up before heading back on board. There's also free Wi-Fi in the terminals, and it's surprisingly reliable. Just outside the building, you'll find clearly marked pickup points for the cruise line Shuttle and the Blue Bus, so it's very obvious where to go. Everything operates in a logical flow, and even on busier days, it's one of the smoother ports for getting on and off the ship. If your ship uses the World Trade Center terminals instead, these feel more like part of the city itself, with cafes and shops around the waterfront and a much more open atmosphere. Once you know where you're docking, the next thing you need to work out is the easiest way to reach Las Ramblas and the heart of Barcelona. You will have 2 shuttle options in Barcelona. The first is the paid cruise line shuttle. On P&O, it costs around £4 to £5, and on Princess, it is usually $8.95. This is the most direct and the smoothest way to reach the World Trade Center. It goes straight from your ship to the drop-off point, without stopping at other terminals, and it is much quicker and less crowded. The second option is the complimentary port shuttle, which locals sometimes call the Blue Bus. This runs from all the terminals to the World Trade Center, but it will stop at other ships first. So by the time it reaches your terminal, it can already be full. Once you get to the World Trade Center, it is a short walk to the Columbus Monument, and from there, you are right at the foot of La Ramblas. Now, let's talk about timing, because this is the part that can really make or break your day in Barcelona. Barcelona is a big turnaround port, and timings can vary a lot depending on how many ships are in. Sometimes, you'll walk straight off and be on a shuttle within a few minutes. Other times, I've seen queues build very quickly for both the shuttle buses and the hop-on hop-off buses. A good rule of thumb is to allow at least 20 to 30 minutes from leaving your cabin to actually being on your way into the city. And if you have a timed entry ticket for somewhere like Sagrada Família, don't choose anything too early. Late morning or early afternoon gives you a far more relaxed start and removes all the stress. One other thing to keep in mind is the journey back to the ship. Late afternoon is when everyone has the same idea, and the queues for the hop-on hop-off buses and the shuttles can build very quickly. So allow yourself plenty of time to get back, because the last thing you want is to be rushing through Barcelona trying to make it to sail away. There are a few ways to get around Barcelona, but some are far better than others on a cruise day, depending on what you want to see. A taxi from the World Trade Center to the main areas of the city is quick and not expensive. Just be clear with the driver that you're returning to the cruise terminal, because some tourists have accidentally been taken to the airport when they've only said Terminal A or Terminal B. The metro is straightforward, reliable, and easy to use. Dressanes station on the Green Line is just a few minutes' walk from the shuttle drop-off point. And from there, you can reach Sagrada Família or the Gothic Quarter quickly. The hop-on hop-off bus is a great option if it's your first visit to Barcelona. I've used it myself, and it gives you a brilliant overview of the city. Just be aware that queues can get long, especially mid-morning, so getting off the ship early really helps. And if you're planning to explore Las Ramblas or the Gothic Quarter, you don't need any transport at all. Both areas are an easy stroll from the World Trade Center, and once you're in the Gothic Quarter, everything is best explored on foot. The alleyways, plazas, and side streets are far more enjoyable when you're not worrying about buses or metro lines. Barcelona is an incredible city, but it does come with a reputation. So let's talk realistically about safety and what actually works. Barcelona is generally safe, but it does have a bad reputation for pickpockets, especially around Las Ramblas, metro stations, and the hop-on hop-off queues. I have always felt safe here, even when traveling alone, but I keep my bag in front of me, and I do not carry anything in open pockets. Most visitors never have a problem, but it is worth being mindful. If you're planning to see Gaudi's big attractions, the timing matters more than most people realize. I have visited Sagrada Família, but on one cruise, I left it too late to get an inside ticket, and I do not want you to make the same mistake. Book these attractions before you even cruise, and choose a timed slot that gives you enough time to get off the ship and reach the basilica without rushing. Bookings open on the Sagrada Família website about 2 to 3 months in advance. And if you are traveling in peak season, then they can sell out quickly. For most cruise passengers, late morning or early afternoon time slots works best. If you are hoping to do Park Güell as well, bear in mind that it takes longer to reach, and you will want at least 90 minutes there to explore properly. To help you make the most of your port day, here's a simple plan that's realistic, easy to follow, and based on what I've actually done myself. A typical day for me in Barcelona starts with the shuttle to the World Trade Center, then a walk up Las Ramblas and into La Boqueria Market. Even if you are not buying anything, it is a lovely place to wander through, full of color and energy. From there, you can either take the metro or a taxi to Sagrada Família. If you have timed tickets, you can go straight inside. Afterwards, you have 2 great options. You can explore the Gothic Quarter, which I did on my earlier visit when I joined a guided tour and saw the Barcelona Cathedral. Or you can head up to Montjuic for cable car views across the city, which is ideal if you want something a little more relaxing. If you have extra time, the hop-on hop-off bus is a very easy way to see more of the city without having to plan anything. The main thing I would say is this: do not try to do everything in one day. Barcelona has a lot to see, but choosing 2 or 3 highlights will make your day far more enjoyable. And this is the big decision most people wrestle with: whether to explore Barcelona on your own or book a ship excursion. If you want freedom and flexibility, Barcelona is an excellent DIY port. You can see Las Ramblas, the market, and the Gothic Quarter easily on your own, and the shuttle drops you right where you need to be. A ship excursion is sometimes the better choice if you want guaranteed entry to Sagrada Família or Park Güell, or if you are heading further afield to Montserrat or doing a wine tour. And finally, if you don't want to travel far or spend a lot of money, there are some brilliant things to see right by the port itself. It's a short walk to the Columbus Monument from the World Trade Center, and then you are at the bottom of Las Ramblas. And you can stroll up Las Ramblas easily. Port Güell is also a lovely area to wander around, especially if you want an easy, relaxed day. So now you know exactly how to make the most of your day in Barcelona. But even with a solid plan, most people still make the same mistakes on a Mediterranean cruise. If you want to avoid the stress and save yourself money, then watch the video on screen now, and it will set you up for a much smoother trip.